When it comes to health insurance in India, most people fall into one of three categories: the confused, the frustrated, or both. Because while we all know we should be covered, very few of us actually understand what we are covered for.
And the only way to do that was to get out of the industry and do it. So we basically said that we'll not be part of the industry and basically become like a lens for customers to look at the industry. In India, the threshold for anybody to become an insurance agent is almost nothing, right? Yeah. You need to be 10th pass and you have to attend a 25 hours of course. And after that, you have to give an exam, which if you give thrice, and you just answer A, B, in that answer, one of the exams will clear.
You will pass, okay.
Yeah, even if without reading the question. So it's that simple, right? So when it's so simple, the thresholds are so low, then there was a need for someone to basically create an upward threshold for customers who are looking for really high quality advisory. So when you are taking a call of only depending on company health insurance, the risk is not that you will get an expensive health insurance. The risk is actually that you may not get health insurance.
Correct.
Something that people should understand a little deeper, right? Insurers are in the market to acquire more and more customers for growth, right? And one of the ways to acquire customers is obviously to keep premiums low, right? And it could be a bait. Probably we are at a time which is kind of a dark time in the health insurance space, I would say. There are a lot of insurance companies, because they want growth and profit both together. What they're doing is that they are typically charging very low premiums to acquire customers, and later on they want profits. So they are either increasing the renewal premiums very significantly for the customers who are now in their basket, or they are cutting claims, which both are basically very kind of shocking for the existing customers who are now in the policy.
Now, I understand why you call your company Beshak, right? So,
yeah.
Right. So there is shak is there everywhere.
Exactly why. See, the reason now it.
When it comes to health insurance in India, most people fall into one of three categories: the confused, the frustrated, or both. Because while we all know we should be covered, very few of us actually understand what we are covered for. That is why today's guest is such a breath of fresh air. Mahavir Chopra is not your typical insurance professional. He's a myth buster, a simplifier, and someone who has spent over 2 decades making health insurance more transparent, more human, and far more empowering. From his early days at CoverFox and at ICICI Lombard to now leading Beshak.org, Mahavir has been on a mission to help people make insurance decisions with clarity and confidence. He's someone who has read the fine print, questioned the defaults, and called out the system when it was unfair, all while helping thousands of people navigate their policies better. And today, we are putting him on the hot seat to answer the most common and the most frustrating questions people over 40-45 have about health insurance in India. Mahavir, welcome to Refinement Talks, and we are so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on our show, Refinement Talks. So we're talking to people who are preparing for retirement, and we know there are a lot of challenges in this whole process. And one of the biggest items in retirement, like we see, is health being an area of focus. And insurance, of course, is an obvious solution, but there is just so much confusion, mistrust. You would have seen that yourself. Yeah. So I want to just understand what got you into this industry. You're a chartered accountant. You have been working, but then how did the idea of Beshak originate? Why?
Sure. So I've been in the insurance space since almost 2005, 2006 now.
Okay.
And
20 years.
Almost 20 years. Yeah, it's actually 20 years now. I typically did all the chartered accountant stuff before I got into this space, and it just happened, right, that I got into a startup as a co-founder, that I was going to take care of finance actually. And I always had that entrepreneurial bug in me, and typically I picked up one of the businesses as leading one of the businesses in that company.
Okay.
Right, that this is like 2005, 2006. And I found it fun, right? So typically then I moved from the finance role to becoming a business lead, and then basically running businesses for that company that way. So that's basically the transition from being a chartered accountant, kind of a role where I was doing accounting finance, to basically getting into businesses. And it happened to be an insurance business, right? So typically that what happened. And I basically, with my other co-founders, we set up the first online insurance comparison portal in India.
Okay.
So this was way before even the other companies like Policybazaar even existed at that time. So 2007 is when we launched our portal.
Okay.
So that's my...
What was that called?
It was called Insurance Mall.
Insurance Mall. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was way back, so 2006, 2007.
Okay.
And cut to the last job that I did was I was a chief business officer at a company called CoverFox.
CoverFox.
So CoverFox was a heavily funded tech first insurance broking company, right? So we used to distribute personal health insurance policies and personal life insurance policies and car insurance to customers. And quite a popular name at that time when I was working with them. The key insights that I got over the last 15 years before I started Beshak was that everybody was basically only getting into the distribution game and trying to sell insurance, right?
Right.
What I found as a key insight was that trust was not getting solved in this entire game, right? Meaning, and there are two key things that we found, right? One is that how does trust get created, right? One is that you give the right information.
Correct.
And most of the platforms that exist even today, apart from Beshak, and I'm not saying this because I'm part of Beshak, have a vested interest in whatever they are showing on their website in terms of products and how they're listing them, what are they talking about the product, whether they are saying good things or bad things.
Of course, because eventually their business model is to sell something in the process.
So we basically, I imagined a situation where can you give undiluted information to the customer? And the only way to do that was to get out of the industry and do it. So we basically said that we'll not be part of the industry and basically become like a lens for customers to look at the industry, right? So typically what we did is that we said that we'll not take any broking license, any distribution license. We'll be that company which will basically be the curator of information for the customers and help customers find the right information to make decisions.
So you're a knowledge-based company.
We started off being a company which basically solves for information for the customer. So we basically create tools which helps customers understand insurance, right? So right from basic guides to creating tools which help them find the right product from all the products that are available in the market, to basically helping them find the right experts in the market. So we basically, yesterday I was telling someone this, that we are like how there is a water purifier, right? Which basically solves, there are too many things. What does a water purifier do? Like any purifier do?
Yeah.
It basically, there are sediments, there are bacteria, there is virus, a lot of other stuff, impurities. It basically culls out all that and gives you fresh water, right? So Beshak, what it's doing is basically there are hundreds of plans in the market, hundreds of insurance companies in the market, and lakhs of insurance experts in the market who call themselves experts. But how does a customer know what is the right plan, right insurer, and right expert to buy from? So that's what we ended up creating, basically. So one part of our business is where we help people with tools, information, and ratings to help them basically find out what are the good products in the market. And we go very, very deep in that to understand, help people understand the products. And the other part of our business is where we help people find or discover the right experts in the market.
I see.
So which is like a marketplace where we basically help customers connect with the right kind of insurance experts in the market.
Geographically close by.
Not necessarily geography. Right now we are not focusing on geography more than location. We are focusing more on ensuring that the right expert is available for the customer. Because it's very surprising for a lot of people when I speak to them about this, is that when we talk to 100 people who are calling themselves experts, and when they come and get qualified on our platform, or they want to get qualified on our platform, only 7 to 8% actually get qualified.
Really?
Yeah.
So you have like entrance exams and stuff?
Yeah. We have a product exam which only 20% people clear. And then we have
these
two tests.
People are all anyway IRDA certified.
Yeah.
After that, they have to go through some more.
Yes.
Wow.
The reason is because in India, the threshold for anybody to become an insurance agent is almost nothing, right? You need to be 10th pass, and you need to give a 25 hours of you have to attend a 25 hours of course, and after that you have to give an exam, which if you give thrice,
Yeah.
And if you just answer A, B, 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 B in that answer, one of the exams will clear.
You will pass. Okay.
Yeah, even if without reading the question.
Yeah.
So it's that simple, right? So when it's so simple, the thresholds are so low, then there was a need for someone to basically create an upper threshold for customers who are looking for really high quality advisory.
Okay.
Right? So that's what we basically solved for. We said that we will create a benchmark saying that these are the things that an advisor should know.
You are a basic certified
Yes.
insurance advisor.
Correct.
Oh,
so
nice.
we ask for a test, and then there are 2 rounds of interviews that happen, and the last interview happens with one of our co-founders.
Okay.
Yeah, only then that person actually gets impaneled on the platform.
Wow. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So they should just borrow this and put it in the IRDA thing, premium advisors.
Yeah, there is a need actually. If you ask me, there is a need for there being one advisor, and then there could be a little advisor plus kind of a model where there are a couple of additional exams that guy needs to give or anybody needs to give, and basis that they should be able to sell more products, right? Or maybe hire some insured products. A guy who comes with maybe only a 10th pass and 25 hours of training and one exam, you should be able to sell, let's say, a 5 lakh sum insured policy. There should be some threshold for someone to be able to sell products to higher people who are looking for, let's say, higher quality advisory, or maybe they should be allowed to sell more insurance company products that way. There is a need for that. Yeah.
Interesting.
But we solved that. So basically we said that we saw a need from the customer side, right?
Yeah.
Customers were saying that, okay, we want to buy a policy, but whom do you buy from, right? In fact, even RIAs come and ask us this question, right?
Yes.
And they say that, okay, fine, I will help the customer find the right product.
Yeah.
But who will help with execution?
Yes.
Right? And that's a very significant challenge that I see a lot of RIAs talking to us too. And that is what we basically said, that we will create this kind of we understand what kind of people are required. So we'll do the curation for customers, and then people can basically get assigned to these experts that way.
Interesting. Meaning I'm very surprised, and I think it's solving a real problem, because the DIY in investments, it's another thing, you can find mutual funds and go ahead and invest. But when it comes to DIY in insurance, there's little bit of reluctance because the moment of truth is when a claim has to happen and you need help at that point. So, but before we get into that, Mahavir, I want going deep into various work that you have done. I want to dig little deeper.
Sure.
Right. I was also surprised when I saw this data point from amongst our own clients that more than 50-60% of our clients, when they get into their 40 years, and the dependence is still largely on the company provided insurance only. They don't have an insurance by themselves. People who come to us, not our clients, but people who we are talking to, right?
Correct.
And eventually then we encourage them to take their own insurance policies. And after 40, if you're going out there to get upon a policy, it has its own troubles.
Totally.
You probably already have some kind of medication going on and things like that. So if somebody is looking for an insurance policy outside of what company provides, what are about 4 or 5 things that they must remember or take care of as they go through this?
Right. So typically, till date, still, the industry is clearly open to basically giving policies to people who are 40-year-old, and even if they have a disease, right?
Okay.
Meaning, so it's not that you are definitely, I would call it, you're late in buying a health insurance policy if you are a 40-year-old and if you're not bought a personal health insurance policy. But it's fine. You can still, if you still are reasonably fit and fine, it's not going to be difficult for you to get a good health insurance policy. Let's look at it both ways, right? Meaning one is with disease and one is without health conditions. If it is without health conditions, then it's very easy.
Yeah.
Like you'll get it as a 25-year-old will get it. You will get a policy in a similar
But you'll have to
match.
go through the medicals.
There are no medical tests required for, let's say, till almost 50 years. Most insurance companies don't require a medical test unless you are declaring a disease.
Okay.
So typically till 50, you may not require a medical test, or if you're declaring something, that could happen to even a 25-year-old. So if I had a 25-year-old and I'm writing thyroid, then insurance company may ask for a medical test. Similarly, for a 45-year-old also, they may ask a medical test. Declarations become very important, so which a lot of people don't get it right, and that's why claims get affected. But coming back to your question, so there may not be a medical test also, and you might get the mainstream plans that even a 25-year-old gets.
Okay.
With disease, obviously there could be issues. Like if there is a chronic disease, which is like a maintainable disease, like a hypertension or a diabetes, today there are enough and more plans that are available which you can get. Typically, even if you want to cover them from day zero, right? Meaning you want to cover hypertension from day zero, or you want to cover, let's say, a diabetes from day zero, or cholesterol from day zero. You can pay additional premium and even get cover for those things from day zero also now. So that is something that is available. Now, the third kind of category could be where people have a major disease, right? Meaning which is like someone is a cancer survivor, or someone has gone through a heart attack.
Yeah.
So these kind of things could be an issue. The biggest problem of basically waiting till 40 or 45 to buy a health insurance is that certain diseases an insurance company may clearly block you from getting a health insurance. Like, for example, there are these autoimmune disorders.
Yeah.
Right? And now I'm seeing it more like when I was younger and I used to sell health insurance, right? To people who are 30 or 40 year old, I was not seeing so many people talking about autoimmune disorders.
The incidences have gone up.
The incidences have gone up. And as soon as you have an autoimmune disorder, an insurance company just blocks you. They don't give you a policy. So anybody who has an autoimmune disorder will not get a health insurance at all. Or they will get a health insurance will be very, very substandard policy, which will have many limits, will be very expensive, those kind of policies. The other is mental, if you have had any history of mental illness. Like if someone has had 6 months of also taking anxiety pills, it becomes very difficult for that person to get health insurance in India.
Really?
Right. Yeah. So when you are taking a call of only depending on company health insurance, the risk is not that you will not get health insurance. The risk is not as much as that, okay, you will get an expensive health insurance. The risk is actually that you may not get health insurance.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is basically if some of these things happen, it becomes not very, like you rightly said, that it's the incidence is increasing. And people then are at shock at that time that, okay, I will not get a policy. So that is something that people, I think, should understand, that when you are not taking a policy in your younger age, your own policy, a personal policy, then you could have a problem of basically not having health insurance for your entire life.
So you're saying that if you are 40 and you're healthy, you might just get insurance like any 25-year-old. It's not something of worry. And if you have like lifestyle, some basic medication and all that also, with paying extra premium and medical tests, you will get an insurance. The only problem will come if you've had an incidence of a big health setback.
Correct.
Okay.
And but some of them may not be big in your terms, but big in the insurer's terms, right? Like, like a mental illness, if someone is 2 years ago, probably someone just took 6 months of, let's say, anxiety pills, right? Meaning I may not consider that as a very serious thing. Meaning, or 3 months of anxiety pills. But when it comes to buying insurance, you may actually get blocked by mainstream insurers or the comprehensive plans that are available that way.
Okay, that's a surprise, and I think it's a little unfair as well. But
there is a reason behind that. I think insurers still don't have enough data to underwrite cases. This is what I get to understand from an insurance company.
Because mental illness, Mahavir, but the issue is that it's starting to teenagers, happening to teenagers. I mean, very common, it's happened in the family also of somebody during pregnancy, they post.
Yes.
Pregnancy depression, right? So they are on medication for some time, and then they get out of it and they are normal. And then if you say, you will never get health insurance after this,
it becomes difficult. I'll not say never get health insurance, but it definitely becomes difficult. Definitely comprehensive plans, the ones that are like flagship plans for the insurance companies, there you definitely can have a difficulty getting them. Right? It's gradually getting better, meaning insurers are opening up to it. The reason why insurers typically have this issue is that wherever they don't have enough data to understand the implications of the cost that this could lead to is where basically they'll start blocking. Like autoimmune is one more reason. The reason is very clear that they are not very clear where is it going to go. Right?
The expenses can just like in bottomless pit, it can go on.
Exactly.
I know. Okay. So lot of these insurance, as insurance, you're talking of new illnesses that are getting covered. Mental illness that can even be covered is something that's new. Now there are a lot of new insurance companies also that have come offering a lot of products online at significant lesser discounts. And then there are multiple feedback on claim settlement issues and all that stuff. So, I mean, in your understanding, there are steady people who've been around for a very long time, 20 years, 30 years, they have experience. We can look at their claim settlement ratios. There's a certain sense of confidence, but they are expensive. Now, does it make sense for someone who's trying to buy an insurance to choose like a lower cost product? Is it coming at a cost?
Yeah, so I think price that you get in the early days, right? Meaning when you're buying a policy, right? I'll just correct myself. So what I was trying to say, entry price, right, in health insurance is something that people should understand a little deeper, right? Insurers are in the market to acquire more and more customers for growth, right? And one of the ways to acquire customers is obviously to keep premiums low, right? And it could be a bait that could be used to attract you into the policy, but in the long run, the prices cannot remain the same. Like, it's very simple that if a company which is having 10 years of experience of health insurance, it's if it is charging 25,000 rupees premium and someone else is a new company and is charging 15,000 rupees premium, what is the difference? The difference could be, one is commissions, right? Maybe some companies, maybe not, like there are some D2C companies that do not charge commissions. So that could be the difference.
That can't be this much, right?
But they have their own costs. They have advertisement costs. They will have call center costs. They will have their own costs to acquire customers. It's not that it's coming at zero cost.
Correct.
Right? So the difference is not that big, like you rightly said. So then what is the difference, right? Largely, meaning what my sense is that it is typically acquisition cost that they are basically giving out to basically like a discount to get customers. But the long run, it's going to get basically evened out, is my view. It's not possible that a company which is like 15 years old, 20 years old, is charging 30,000, 40,000 rupees premium. After that, their claims to premium, which is called incurred claim ratio. It's a little technical, but claims to premium is 85%, right? Meaning 100 rupees, if they're collecting 85 is going in claims, and someone is charging half, right? It's not possible that they will not have those claims, right? They will also have similar claims. Probably they'll have lesser claims if they have done better underwriting, which is basically. But these companies also have great underwriting. It's not that they are also very stringent. Right? So there is this gap that you're basically getting. It's like a discount for acquiring customers. It cannot be long term, and at least that's how I see it that way. So when you are getting into a plan, and specifically if you're talking about health insurance, it's like almost like marriage, right? Meaning where you're going to be with that plan for 30, 40 years. It's not going to be very easy for you to just come out of it, right? And hence, your decisions cannot be based on there being no stability in an insurance company, or there not being any track record in that insurance company. You should have clear understanding of, at least in my view, this is what we tell customers, is that at least 3 to 5 years of experience that company should have a track record for you to basically start, investing in some company like that for health insurance kind of a product. So that's one of the things. The other thing is obviously, it could one is this cost of acquisition that we're talking about. The other could be that the balancing figure could come into claims, right? Where an insurance company who is basically charging you lesser premium and then basically attracting you to get into the policy. After a few years, when it comes down to basically also showing profits while they're showing growth, the only balancing figure remains is claims, right? And then they will start cutting numbers there, right? And you may not get your claim, which is happening today, right? I have said this in one of the workshops that I had basically done very recently, that probably we are at a time which is kind of a dark time in the health insurance space, and I would say. There are a lot of insurance companies, because they want growth and profit both together. What they're doing is that they are typically charging very low premiums to acquire customers, and later on they want profits. So they are either increasing the renewal premiums very significantly for the customers who are now in their basket, or they are cutting claims, which both are basically very kind of shocking for the existing customers who are now in the policy.
I mean, this is a big issue, right? So suddenly, at least post-COVID, insurance premiums, whether I've made a claim or not made a claim, has gone up 2x, 3x.
Correct.
I mean, it's shocking my mother who's like 65, I've been renewing her insurances for the last maybe 15-16 years now.
Right.
And for a 3 lakh insurance, I pay almost 50,000-60,000 rupees. It's like 1/6 of the total. For 6 years, if I have not paid, I have the same amount of money. Right?
Correct. And this policy may not also be like a, if I am not wrong, it may be a policy which may also have a lot of limits. It's not going to be like a full-fledged clean cover that you have 3 lakhs also. So it is true today, right? Meaning where
no, but after 15 years of renewal, I should not have all these limits.
The policy at the time when you bought it may have limits, is what I'm trying to say. There may not be new limits. What I'm trying to say is that it's a 3 lakh at if the person is 65 years old, at 3 lakh policy is coming for, you said, around 1/6 of that is what you said.
Yeah, something like that. Meaning it's a 3 lakh plus the top up of, so up to 10 lakh. So totally I pay 60,000 rupees premium.
60,000 rupees premium for 10 lakhs. Actually, it's not very high.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not very high compared to
10 lakhs is the top up.
Yeah, but both put together, you're saying is 60,000.
Yeah, I mean, the top up is a smaller amount.
Yeah.
I'm saying maybe.
And what is the age you said?
She's 65.
65. So if you look at it from this point of view, right, if you put this as a simple math, right? So if there is a 10 lakh cover and you are paying 60,000 premium is what you said. 60,000 rupees premium. So you are basically getting almost 15 times.
6%, yeah.
Yeah, 6% or 15 times the cover, right?
Yeah.
Which basically, in the way I look at it, very back of the envelope calculation that I'm doing is that in 15 years also, if you make a full claim, you're going to get break even, right? Which is actually a good place to be in. I've seen people who have policies which have a sum insured of 2 lakhs for two individuals, 2 lakh, and the premium has gone up to 75,000 rupees, right? So then that becomes like crazy.
Why bother? Yeah.
But then they are all 70, 75 plus. So typically the whole game is about, meaning what insurers are doing is basically it's about probability of utilization of the cover. So when you're younger and you're taking a 5 lakh cover and you are, let's say, 30-year-old, your probability of utilization of 5 lakh is lower. So the premiums are lower. As you grow older, the probability of you being able to use that 5 lakhs is higher.
Yeah.
So premiums will grow. There is another reason also which this happens is basically insurers know that now you're locked into the policy.
Yeah.
And there is this market reality that now you're not going to go out very easily, right? If you have a disease or you may not port out because you're now 50 plus or 55 plus. And that also basically is like an elasticity that they use, price elasticity that they use, which is basically saying that these people are not going to go and I don't need to give pricing which is very interesting for them to be retained. So I can charge higher price. If you look at it, very, very base level concept, health insurance was supposed to be a concept where the young and healthy pay for the sick, right? And the premium should have been very economical for everybody because that's how the whole play happens, where younger people get added to the policy and the older people basically make claims, and that the whole thing works. There is a profit which the insurance company takes. But that's not how it is currently working. Younger people are basically getting subsidized with premium being charged for the older people actually, instead of it being the reverse.
Whoa.
Right? Meaning I am basically wanting to, we started with saying that why are premiums cheap?
Yeah.
Premiums are cheap because they want to acquire younger customers.
Correct.
And then basically they are retaining the customers which are old and having a problem.
Yeah.
Who are going to pay premiums. They are charging premiums higher to those people.
Yeah. Interesting, no? This is like a whole big mess out there. Okay, good. So premiums are just going up, for various reasons. And you mentioned portability also.
Yeah.
So portability, of course, is a recent thing, right? So in the last maybe 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years, you can start porting the policies.
Right.
So, even now, when you, as you grow older, even if you've spent 10 years in a policy and all, and you're trying to port the policy, there are some restrictions on how new companies willing to port out. So what are some things that we have to remember if we want to port out? I have an old policy that has all these sublimits. I don't want it anymore. In the new policy, will I get it without the sublimits? What is the deal there?
Yeah. So the first thing is that if you already are 50, 55 plus and you have multiple diseases or you have a claim history, then you should try to see that you stick around with the same insurance company as much as possible.
I see.
The reason being is that because you have a significant history with one insurance company, it actually helps at the time of claims. Having a history with an insurance company where you've paid 15 years of premium, and then you making your first claim or your second claim, or even if you made 2 claims and now you're making a claim, it is something that it helps basically claims getting settled much more smoothly than you basically having a cover of 15 years with one insurance company and then you porting out to another insurance company with disease or with claim history. And in the first couple of years, if you're going to make a claim, it can become very complicated for the new insurance company. The new insurance company can get into investigations, trying to understand if there was a non-disclosure, because for the new insurance company, there's no history, right? The first thing is that if you are cross 55, 60, and you have a policy which probably has limits, but you've had a claims, and if you have a medical history, then try not to port if you can. Try to talk to the same insurance company and try to upgrade in the same policy.
Okay.
In a situation where you don't have a choice, right, is where you then genuinely need an expert to help you with that, because the whole transition has to be handled very delicately, right? One of the most important things in this is that when a person who has a medical history and is above a particular age, the history of the previous policy, all the claims that were made, all the diseases that happened when the policy was in effect, all need to be informed very well to the new insurance company. If you make any mistake, right, in this, where the information of typically the claims or the medical history that you have is not passed on to the new insurance company properly, then that could lead to a major complication in the future with the new insurance company. We've seen cases where people had 20 years, say, one policy, and they basically, some agent came to them and said that you'll get better terms, you'll also get it at a lower price. So you port, and the agent was not skilled enough and did not have knowledge enough, or was not interested also in solving for the customer's problems. And they just ported the policy, right? And a couple of years later, there was a claim that came. The claim was not paid because of non-disclosures, because the disclosures not made properly. Also, the policy was cancelled by the new insurance company, right? Because they said it's a fraud. You did not inform things to us properly. We are cancelling the policy. So now the customer is without the old policy,
without the new policy,
and without the new policy, and without a cover, right? Which is the worst situation to be in, where you, like, 15 years you did not make a claim, 20 years you did not make a claim. Someone came to you and said that I'll port you and get you into a new policy. Actually make a claim in the new policy, and that new policy, because it was not transitioned well, that company rejects your claim and then also cancels your policy. So you are out of cover at probably 65. And I've seen this, we see this almost like 4 or 5 cases every month, where insurance companies have basically rejected claims and cancelled policies.
Oh my God. So now the new insurance companies become the villain. The agent has become the villain. And I understand why you call your company Beshak, right? So, right. So there is shak is there everywhere.
Exactly why. See, the reason now it basically coming a full circle. Exactly why we saw that someone needs to solve for the trust, right? And when I was a distributor, I saw that there were well-meaning products, well-meaning companies, and well-meaning experts available, but very few and far within, right? So that's where we saw that there is a need for someone to come and make that filter, which will help people understand that, okay, how someone else to curate it, because a customer cannot do it till a claim does not come. You don't really know whether you're in the wrong product, you're in the wrong insurer's hand, or you're in the wrong expert's hand.
Correct.
Right? So,
no, because you're insured, they probably make 1 or 2 claims in their whole lifetime, right? So they'll only have that much the information. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So portability, you're saying if you've stuck around for with the policy for a long time, don't bother porting it out.
And if you really need to do it with a lot of care. If you can do it yourself. But we would strongly recommend that you have an expert who can take the accountability of helping you move correctly.
Okay. No, but is it possible to port out from a group insurance into an individual insurance and all that?
Yes.
Is that possible?
It is possible.
Like somebody's got a corporate cover.
Yeah.
Is it possible?
It is possible, but it's not. It is tricky still. Like specifically if I have had claims, right? So two people, right? Meaning who would need portability. Like a lot of people cover their parents also through corporate insurance.
Right.
And they cover themselves also with corporate insurance. So your policy, if you've not made any claims or you've made claims which are related to accidents or non-chronic diseases, then portability is very smoothly possible. Same with your parents also. If they've not made major claims, then portability is easily possible. You will have to port into the same insurance company. That is the requirement.
Okay.
So when you move from group to retail, you have to move into the same insurance company. So the portability is not actually portability. It's called migration. So you're migrating from a group policy to a retail policy. That's what happens. But underwriting
you can carry
happens.
forward all the non-claim and everything?
No, nothing. There will be no, you will get waiting period credits. Yes, you will get waiting period credits. So you will not have to.
But you will get an insurance. That's the whole thing.
You can get an insurance, but there will be underwriting. Like how you're buying a fresh insurance, there will be underwriting, and that underwriting will basically ask the same questions like how you buy a new policy. And if you basically have claims or you have a medical history and the insurer would not have given you a fresh policy, they may not give you a migration to their fresh policy also, meaning a retail policy also.
But in a group policy, you can keep renewing.
You can keep renewing till
Even
you're
if you
there in
had
that
claims.
company.
Till you're there.
Yeah. So a lot of people feel that I have a group insurance with my company. When I retire, I will migrate. But it's not guaranteed. It's not that an insurance company who's giving you the group policy is assuring you that I'll migrate you very seamlessly. There is a doorkeeping that happens there, which is about underwriting, which is typically the medical history, and it's like buying a new policy, but you get the credits.
You just get the waiting period credits. That's
correct.
all.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So this is something that I've heard. I can always move the policy out and get an individual policy, right? So it's not that easy. That's what you're saying. Good. Okay. Okay. So tell me something. You did touch upon claims and why they get rejected. So this is an instance that we hear a lot. What is the primary reason why insurance agents are called chores and things like that? Is I've been paying premium, but when I have to make a claim, it gets rejected. So what are some of the most common reasons why claims do get rejected, and how is there anything that we can do to avoid this?
Sure. So biggest reason is non-disclosure, right? Meaning largely insurers are asking you for information when they give you a policy, and largely information related to lifestyle and information related to your health needs to be declared very well. If you don't do that well, then the insurance company is actually not able to ascertain the risk that they are basically getting into, right? They are going to pay you money for claims by taking maybe 1/10 of the premium from you. So they need to understand that well. So if you basically do not disclose things well there, that is the biggest reason why claims would get rejected.
Number one. Okay.
Apart from that, key reasons would be things which are out of scope of the policy, right? So there are temporary waiting periods and there are exclusions, right? Which is basically the 2-year waiting period that exists, where for the first 2 years, there is some specified treatment that basically the insurance company does not pay for.
A lot of people don't know all this.
A lot of people don't know the 2-year waiting period actually. A lot of people know the existing disease exclusion. 2-year actually, a lot of experts don't, or if I could say agents don't explain it when they are giving the policy. They will say that sir, आपको एक disease नहीं है और आप policy ले रहे हो तो you can claim from day 0. But it's not true. Meaning 2 years there will be things like hernia, slip disc, kidney stone that does not get covered. So that is the other thing. The other third thing that where exclusion claim rejections would happen, where there is a disagreement between the insurer and the hospital. Right, which is very interesting and very important to understand, is there are so many cases where what happens is that a hospital says that, or the doctor says that a hospitalization is important just for monitoring purposes, right? Wherein someone has basically come with a, let's say, they have a ache in their chest right now, right? And sweating also. So there are symptoms which say that there is probably a heart issue. But when all the tests are done, everything is fine, right? But the doctor will typically say that, okay, you've come in the evening, what you should do is that you maybe stay back tonight and we'll monitor you through the night. And then if things are fine, then we'll ask you to go home, right? So there is no treatment that is happening here, right? What health insurance covers you is for hospitalization treatment.
Correct.
Because there's no treatment that happens here, an insurance company will not pay this.
They won't pay this?
They won't pay anything which is not having a treatment. And the treatment has to be a treatment that can happen only in a hospital. So, the key thing that health insurance covers is hospitalization treatment.
Yeah.
Right. So both these things should be clearly things that are required to be done. Hospitalization should be important. It should not be that, let's say I'm just having cough or cold and I go to the hospital and I say that there's nobody to take care of me. Give me a bed and I'll claim it through insurance. That's not going to work because it actually could got treated at home. Right? A lot of people have things where they need the hospitalization just for care and not for treatment. That is not covered. The other thing that is not covered is monitoring. So basically, when there is a claim for monitoring purposes, that is not covered.
Interesting. Okay. But daycare is covered, meaning daycare is covered. Some operations can just happen.
Correct. Yeah. They are covered. There could be, So largely the new age policies, the comprehensive policies that we see today, they cover all daycare procedures. So what they say is that if there is a procedure that earlier used to take 24 hours or more, and because of medical advancement now take less than 24 hours, then that will get covered under health insurance. But then there are a little, I would say, lesser comprehensive policies, which would have a list of daycare procedures. And they would say that if these list of treatments happen, then we will cover you. If it is anything outside this list, then it may not get covered that way.
Okay, so you mentioned non-disclosure as number one reason. Number two being that it's inbuilt that these will anyway not be covered, but the insured does not know about it. And number three, you're saying the hospital and the insurance company don't agree. There is a dispute.
Correct. Meaning where there is a hospitalization that has happened, but there is no treatment or the hospitalization was not required. It could have been treated at home. Okay. That is a definition of hospitalization that insurance companies have put in the policy. And if there doesn't meet that definition, then they'll not pay, basically. That way.
No, but then there was a case that I was reading now saying that somebody's claim was rejected for an unrelated. So they had gone, they were admitted for some kidney related issue, but they were taking medicines for hypertension or something like that. It was not really related to each other, but then still their claim was rejected.
Yeah. So in case of non-disclosure,
I disclosed that I have hypertension. Right.
You disclosed that you have hypertension and the claim was for kidney stone maybe or for anything related to kidney. Then the claim was rejected on what grounds? This situation looks like a situation where what would have happened is that
and the case, I read the case saying that they went to court and fought it and everything. And got the insurance company to pay. I mean, what I'm trying to understand is that what is the recourse? When I think the insurance company has wrongly denied my claim, what's my recourse? What can I do?
So largely, this does happen, right? Meaning a lot of insurance companies are doing this today. Not all of them, but a lot of insurance companies are doing this today where they are rejecting a claim with the understanding that not everybody is going to basically go to grievance, right? And hence they will save that money, right? They're doing this and this is happening.
These things are unfair. This is what makes us want to call them chores, right?
Yeah, which is the case. And that's why it's very important that you look at the track record of an insurance company, understand the governance, understand the group that it belongs to, and then take decisions, right? Meaning, basically, there has to be a reputation at risk for that insurance company to not do these things. Like, not everybody will do it. If there is if you know that there is someone who's going to hear you, maybe not the same company, but there is a group involved, right? And there is a reputation involved. It's very important in health insurance when you're taking a decision. So, like you rightly said, that meaning there are cases where it is an if decision that this could be paid, not be paid. There are insurance companies who pay. There are good insurance companies which basically take a call and pay. We've seen a case where I said that probably this claim would not payable, but that insurance company decided to pay because it was a large claim and it paid that claim. That has also happened. But then there have been cases like these where we've seen that the insurance company feels that, okay, let me reject this claim and see if the company is coming for grievance or not, right? And then there are out-of-court settlements that happen after a person reaches ombudsman, right? Which is not something that should happen, right? Meaning that means the insurer knew that the claim is payable. So ombudsman ke paas pahunch gaye, and then the insurance company say, okay, fine, I'll pay.
No, but then IRDA should pull these companies up, right? And say, okay, totally. Do they?
So today I see that the biggest thing that needs to be solved in insurance is that if there is a grievance, the way it should have, the management of grievance is not that great in the insurance space, and you need someone to basically guide you through the grievance and probably help you with fighting the case.
But who is this someone?
So that's where we basically talk about these experts, right? People who can see like yesterday or day before yesterday, I was seeing a case where someone made a claim for what is that called? Scopy, right? Meaning this was a Scopy claim, right? Where you're doing he had some but then that claim got rejected, right? Where basically this person, what is cysts, right? So he had cysts which basically needed to be checked, right?
Okay.
And that claim got rejected. And I spoke to this person and we tried to understand. And there were multiple claims after that also, which were actually payable, right? Those were paid and this was not paid. Now, the insurance company rejected it, basically saying that it was just an investigation. There was no hospitalization that has happened. But there were continuous claims after that where related treatments were done on that. Now, this just required an expert to put this claim under pre-hospitalization and get it paid. But they put it as a claim. The customer put it as a claim. So it was not paid, right? So what we see today, every day, is that there is a information asymmetry between the customer and the insurer. And it is not getting solved by the insurer not solving it. So you need that person who understands both sides of the world, also understands hospital side of the world, and basically says that, okay, get this paper from the hospital and I'll get your claim settled. There's so many times it happens where just one clarification from the hospital or one email that goes to the insurance company, which is well written and well presented, a rejected claim gets paid.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So because you're giving the right interpretation, you're using the right language, you're also referring the right clauses from the policy wordings and then putting it across, right?
No.
So today, because health insurance remains to be a business where insurance companies are focusing more on distribution and not on claims as much as distribution, they're not investing that much on solving for claims as much as they're solving for distribution. And that's why the need for a person to be there who's on your side to solve for claims. That's where basically our philosophy comes from.
Trusted advice.
That you need someone on your side. It cannot be solved like it's not mutual fund where you're basically pausing an SIP, redeeming an SIP on an app, right? Wherever you're taking money from an insurance company, in case of mutual fund, it's your money.
Yeah.
Whereas actually in the case of a claim, it is a loss for that insurance company when you're taking a claim. And that's why the insurance company is holding back.
Yeah.
And that's why you need someone to basically negotiate also to that extent with the wordings and tell that this claim is payable. Like, I can give numerous examples on this.
Give us some.
Yeah. So like there was one more case where there was a customer whose claim was rejected because of the insurance company saying that this hospitalization not necessary, right? Now, one of our experts, they went through these papers and felt that actually it is payable, right? And he went through the entire hospital papers. In fact, also spoke to the doctor, got one more letter, right? And then put it up for representation to the grievance of the insurance company, right? The insurance company still rejected the claim. Then this expert, and this he was doing pro bono, right? Meaning he was not actually the person whom he had bought the policy from. And then this person actually went and helped him file an ombudsman case, right? Meaning presented to the ombudsman. And as soon as it was presented to the ombudsman in around 2 months' time, the claim got paid, right? So
Without dispute, it got paid. The ombudsman rewarded the case, right? And the claim got paid. The point is that if this person was not there to help him out and handhold this, it would have been probably another 6 months that it would have taken for the customer to explain why this claim is payable. or he would have just given up.
Or he would have given up. Yeah. So these people typically, this person came to me on DM and I just said that, let me check if an expert in our panel wants to just help you out. And someone basically just volunteered.
Nice.
Right. And it happened. So these things we see every day, that if it's represented well, or if someone interprets it well and represents it well, then you are able to fight it out and get claims.
No, a lot of people don't even know that they could do all of these.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is where a lot of, specifically in tier 3, tier 4 cities where people do not know that there is a way to fight claims, or there are insurance companies which are paying half claims, right? They don't know actually they're actually entitled to the whole money. But so many people who are in tier 3 cities feel that acha jo mila hai, that also is like a great thing. Acha, I got money, and they are just keeping quiet. This happens all the time.
Yeah. I understand. And congratulations, the GST is going away on the health insurances.
Yeah, meaning there is it should not go away, I feel, because I am a lot of people that I am not an expert in this, but whoever I speak to in the finance teams of insurance companies, they're saying that there needs to be that some amount of GST. If it is zero, then they will lose on the input tax credit, right? And if they lose on input tax credit, that will again get built into the premiums. So there should be like 5 to 10% GST still there, so that they can basically then pass on that benefit to the customer. Otherwise, it's going to be it may almost be negligible that way. Yeah.
So the government is thinking, I mean, it is in their focus of things to see. And one of the things that we've been always ruing about is that when I was talking to a longevity physician earlier this week, and the idea is to say increase health span, not just lifespan.
Yeah.
And insurance today is helping only increasing lifespan. Meaning after an illness comes to you and you make, you go in for treatment, I will help you.
Correct.
Pay for it. Yeah. But the whole point of increasing health span also is it's not cheap, right? If I have to, get into a fitness program and keep myself fit, I don't get any benefit for doing all of these things, right? So while healthcare is thinking of health span, why isn't the health insurance companies also thinking on the same lines?
I think that is the only way to go forward. Meaning, if you look at the future of health insurance, the way premiums are just randomly increasing, insurers needing younger customers to basically keep a profitable, kind of a book, at the same time also grow, it's only going to be possible in two ways, right? One is that to keep pushing premiums up, which will basically lead to only customers who either afford it or people who are going to make claims to remain in the policy. And that is not good news even for the insurance company. The best way to solve this is basically to create an integrated healthcare product. They are also solving for preventive care. And you're basically making it very easy for a person to remain healthy and keep him off hospitalization. And hence, basically, that becomes like a win-win situation.
And attract the younger, healthier lives.
Attracts, absolutely. That's what I was coming to, that it attracts younger people that, okay, you're getting benefited from your policy every year. Today, what you see is that health insurance companies are not able to engage with customers beyond the renewal, right? Between the year, there could be probably a free medical checkup. Right? That is the only thing that is available. I don't think even their insurance companies are doing a good job at actually engaging with customers.
No.
And that's why that's why the premium bites you also more. Like when the premium hikes and you've never had any usage of the policy, you've not even done a medical checkup, you've not used the policy anywhere. And then suddenly you see 30% premium rise. That's where you feel that, okay, what's going on? Right. So when you actually integrate the product this way, right, where you also bring in features which helps people keep themselves healthy, also save on costs which they would have otherwise incurred on preventive healthcare.
Like a gym membership can be provided for, right? Let's say 30% off.
Today, there are plans which have started doing this. So there are wellness add-ons that are available, which will give you either a discount on gym membership or probably almost a gym membership, right? And there are features where you get, like, for example, the entire doctor consultations for free. They are mostly online consultations, but then you get them for free. Like, meaning they will basically get a kind of an app where you could book a online consultation and then talk to a doctor. And they range from all specialists to clinical psychologists, everything. So these are things that are available today.
But then I think it is also our responsibility to use these facilities well, right?
The adoption is very poor today.
And a lot of jugaad. Right? So these facilities, I mean, I remember there was a particular policy, I mean, I don't want to name the company, but which said if you do so many steps, you would get a discount on the premium. And I know of some of my friends, jokingly or whatever, they're like just putting that strap on their leg and then shaking their leg all through while sitting. They're not actually doing the steps, but then they're counting for it. So their health is not really improved, but their premiums, they do this jugaad for. So this is
tying to a dog or something like that.
Tying to a dog, So those kind of things, and that. Okay, I don't trust the insurance company. Now the insurance company also does not trust me, right? There's the whole trust deficit in the industry, one feeding into the other, is the problem that needs to be solved. And you guys are doing some really good work on that space. But do you have a word to tell young people who are now. I mean, the adoption for the whole health
Correct.
thing is coming up.
Right.
Something that you want to tell people who are buying into these products, companies that are thinking of these products, and the government also, with our country growing older. I mean, we
Right.
are a youngest democracy and all that stuff, but we are becoming an older
Right.
country.
Correct.
Is there a message that you want to give all these people?
Absolutely. Yeah. For the young, I would definitely give a message that I think it's already improving, but I would say that read more about finance, right? Read more about your own personal finance, right? Meaning, and get educated with the right credible content that is available on the internet or you on YouTube or wherever to understand personal finance as soon as possible, right? Meaning, my son is around getting 18 now, right? And I keep telling him this, that even if you're that young, this is the right age to start understanding the fundamentals of personal finance. So that's, I think, once you do that, then you automatically realize risk management. You understand what is, how do you manage long term, how do you about compounding and all those things, right? Which actually help you. If you learn this early on in your life, it actually helps you significantly, right? So that's one thing. On
the adoption of health insurance and being right about approaching health insurance with a certain sense of responsibility.
Right. Yeah. So from that perspective, I think one is that buying health insurance younger is definitely something that helps you a lot, because you end up solving for all the waiting periods that we spoke about in the policy. It also helps you get a very good comprehensive policy. You make a good start, right? When you buy the policy and you're young, you don't have to declare anything. So it also helps you start with a very clear history with an insurance company. So that all these are definitely benefits that you get. Buying it with a good level of diligence is very important. Just buying it randomly, just clicking and randomly buying obviously should not be there. And that's where I spoke about basically educating yourself about products before you buy them. So that's another thing. Not only depending on company insurance definitely is a very important thing. At least by the time you hit 30, right? If not 25, 26, 27, you should definitely start having a policy of your own. And by the time you are either, let's say, above 30, which is basically, let's say, between 30 and 32, 33, you should plan a health insurance for your 50s and above. Right? That's what we typically recommend. You should not buy health insurance for your age. You should buy it for your old age.
Yeah. So which means higher cover and everything.
Yes. Typically the reason being is that as soon as you, let's say if you're just buying a 5 lakh cover today and saying that that's good enough for today, and then later on, let's say if there is a disease that you or your partner basically is diagnosed with, and then you are trying to upgrade, you may not get an upgrade.
Correct.
Right? So it's very important. You plan for the future. You buy health insurance for your old age. You don't buy it for your current age.
Correct. Yeah. Perfect. I think that's like a very good suggestion. In this context, I want to add one more question here. Is it necessary, apart from the health insurance, that we should also buy a critical illness insurance? Is that essential?
Yeah, meaning I definitely feel there is more awareness required for critical illness policies. Critical illness actually solves for loss of income, right? It does not, a lot of people get confused that they feel that health insurance covers you for the regular illnesses and critical illness covers you for critical illnesses. A health insurance policy is going to cover you for hospitalization for critical illnesses. What a critical illness policy does is it covers you for, it gives you a lump sum amount of money to take care of a diagnosis of a critical illness. Like, for example, someone has got diagnosed with cancer. He survives that cancer. His lifestyle will change. Probably may not be able to do the same stressful job that he was doing earlier, or may have to take a break of 6 months or 1 year. Right, and the company that person was working for probably may not be paying salaries for 6 months to 1 year. And you have that loss of income that you basically need to take care of. Or there is a change, like someone, these are things which people don't like to hear, but I'm still going to say it, that someone has gone through paralysis, right? And then the entire lifestyle has changed. You have to change your house. You have to modify your house, sorry, not change your house. You have to make so many changes. You have to invest a lot of money to now take care of. People have to take care of you. Meaning it's, in my view, to a large extent, meaning the risk of death, right, which is basically solved through term insurance. This is a bigger risk than that. Because once you pass away, the loss is once,
Yeah.
right? But a critical illness loss, meaning when a person has critical illness, has to be maintained over multiple number of years. That can actually be very financially straining.
Correct.
And that's why critical illness policies actually help you with that, right? Which is basically loss of income or significant expenses which are not paid by health insurance. Like a health insurance policy is not going to pay you for modification of your house, right? Or basically loss of income. So I feel people, once they reach 30, they should have a great health insurance policy with a good cover. By the time when they hit between 35 and 40, they should have a critical illness policy. Yeah, as important as a term insurance policy.
Okay. Good. So let's imagine that insurance companies will listen to what you say. Okay. What will you tell them that, you have your ear to the ground, you know what people want.
Right.
What would be your suggestion in terms of product improvements or services that insurance companies should focus on to make available to?
Right. I think the only thing to solve for, if there is only one thing to solve for, and that solves for everything, is if there is a way that insurance companies can think long term instead of thinking short term. The product is long term. But what we are seeing is a lot of insurance companies, and I cannot blame them, probably they have their board and their investors who are forcing them to do that, are thinking short term for a very long term product. Like a health insurance product is a lifetime cover of health insurance, which is typically someone who's buying it at 30 and probably till 80 is going to use it, or 70 is going to use it, 40 years. And then you have insurance companies who are basically forced to look at quarter to quarter profitable growth, right? Which is in itself becoming a very complicated thing.
Correct.
So if that is basically something that can be solved, where insurers are able to look long term, and how will they look at things long term, right? Where basically they're not unrealistically increasing premiums, solving for long term for customers, giving products which actually are useful for customers, not creating unnecessary gimmicks of low premiums and then attracting those customers and then increasing premiums.
Yeah.
Or solving for grievances. Today what happens is that a lot of people I speak to in the industry, they tell me that only 5% people claim. So even if, let's say, 50% of them are not happy with the claim, that's just 2.5% of the entire customer base.
Look
right?
at that.
Exactly. Meaning this is the short-term thinking, right?
God.
Then why does this come? It comes because it's systemic. It's actually a problem where the money that backs these this business is basically short-term, right? And because of that, this is actually caused. So if that is solved, I think a lot of problems will be solved. The other thing that is very closely connected to what I'm trying to say is solving for trust, right? I would strongly, like, if I were to give a suggestion to the insurance companies, I would say that very, very fiercely solve for grievance, right? Meaning have customer advocates in your companies who will actually represent customers instead of representing only the company.
Yourself, yeah.
And basically solve for that, right? The other is solve for trust by basically talking about the good things that happen in the industry. Today, if you see, social media is only noise about negatives about health insurance.
Yeah. Negative news sells. No?
Negative news sells, but then insurance companies coming together and actually talking about the good stuff that happens in the insurance space, because claims are getting paid, right? It's like I was talking to one insurance company who's saying that I pay 80 crores of claim every month.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So they're saying I'm paying 80 crores of claim every month, and still I'm getting only bad news about my company, right? The immediate answer for me to him to what I gave to him was largely to say that you know this, now I know this, but people don't know it. So there is a very strong need for people to also, like the insurance companies also, to solve for reputation, right? Which is basically saying that here are okay, fine, there are 5 claims that were not paid, but here are 95 claims that got paid, and there are customers who are doing a good job at it. Because otherwise what's happening is that today it's become a very bad vicious cycle where people are not trusting insurance companies. And like you just now mentioned, that insurance companies are not trusting customers, and then it's becoming a very bad thing. So
the
if
whole
you have to,
economy, the whole ecosystem suffers from this trust deficit, right?
Correct. So how do you solve for it? You basically solve for it by basically starting to talk about the good stuff that people are doing. And there are companies I know very whom we speak to on a regular basis who are doing a good job. But I keep telling them also, and I'm telling here also, is that nobody knows about it. That there are good number of claims also getting paid.
Yep.
Yeah. If you buy right and if you buy from the right insurance companies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good. Great. Okay, super. So imagine that the government also will listen to what you have to say. What would you tell them?
I would solve for enforcement, right? Meaning today what's happening is that a lot of intent shows in the policy making that insurance regulator is making and also the government is making, but they are not enforced on the ground, right? So for example, there is some new regulation that comes up. It goes out as a circular and then it's not enforced actually, right? How will it get enforced? There are only two ways, right? One is that there is a grievance mechanism which is strong enough for customers to tell the right bodies that this is the wrong thing that has happened with me, and then there is basically action against those people, right? So typically, let's take it may be going outside health insurance right now, but there is so much mis-selling that happens at banks for those investment products that they sell that come from life insurance companies. Till date, I don't know if any bank or any employee of the bank has actually got penalized after that it's being mis-selling that has happened. Maybe customer got their money, maybe things happened which helped maybe that person who made a complaint withdrew the complaint, whatever happened, but there is no action that is happening, and that's why that problem still exists today, and that is causing the trust deficit that already exists.
Taken to prevent recurrence of the issue, right?
Exactly. That is one. The other is it may not be something that it's slightly deeper. What I'm going to say is that a lot of regulations that are happening are also happening without industry consultation. So like a regulation comes out, but that regulation has not been well thought of. And then it goes out to the market, and then insurance companies because they're not consulted well, they find a workaround to solve for that. And then that leads to enforcement issues, right? So that is another important thing that needs to be solved if we have to solve for long-term issues. But my view is, if there is only one thing that I would tell the government to solve for, would be grievance. If grievance is solved, I think it will typically reverse solve for trust, right? Because if people are basically heard, if people are basically their problems are solved, and if the wrong people are basically penalized, then it automatically solves for a lot of things, right? Today, I think there is no. I see this happening every day where because there is no major penalty that happens today, there are so many bad actors who are scot-free today, right? They are doing what they want to do, and that is actually causing that mistrust to only go deeper and deeper.
Absolutely. I think that makes a lot of stuff simple. To say that, yes, we have a trust problem, we accept it, we agree, we've been part of this industry, we know how things are, we've been customers also, we've been advisors also, and this can be solved, but some decisive work with everyone involved, people who are insured, the insurer, the enforcer, and everyone should work on this, because I think health is going to be the next, if we want Viksit Bharat, we want next 25 years, 30 years, as India is growing older, this is a very, very important piece that needs to be solved for. And thanks for the amazing work that you're doing in this industry. And I hope more and more people make use of the work that you're doing. I hope our podcast can just be a small, catalyst in taking the message across. And all of you, please do visit beshak.org. And there's a lot of wonderful resources available there that you can use. How do you go about identifying good policies? How do you make claims? So there's amazing resources available. So I hope you would all make use of the great work that's happening here. Thank you so much, Mahavir, for coming here.
Thank you for having me here.
And I really appreciate you taking time off to talk to us.
Thank you. Glad I'm here.
Thanks.